So, welcome to this, our 13th Lioness of Light Oracle within Zoom Journey session. Thank you so much for those of you who are live today. It feels beautiful to have each of you present in the circle that is pure energy. And greetings for all of those who will be watching the YouTube replay. And this is moving toward the final 17th Oracle session, which will be on the 16th of December. We began on the 26th of August, and it's just extraordinary this time that we have been moving through at this moment on this planet, that so much has unfolded through 2020. And the original intent of opening this circle to share with you through this time, as we have every week through the Lioness of Light Oracle, has been to connect with, reincorporate, explore the different aspects of our beingness, spirit embodied in matter, through this human journey that we share at this time, through all time that we are incarnate on this beautiful planet, and the honoring of the greater totality, the wholeness of that which we are, incorporating and honoring the suffering, the confusion, the burden, the despair, the grief sometimes of that which we experience through our human journey, alongside the wonder, the awe, the celestial realms of our beingness, and ultimately the unity within, the sovereignty in union within, very much through the exploration of the energetics of the divine feminine, in balance with the, you might also say, new arising sacred masculine that has its own journey. And ultimately we are of both. These are pure energetics of nature's law, and yet for the greater part, we incarnate as either male or female. And I am a woman, and the Lioness of Light journey is spoken and shared through the experience of myself as woman, and yet ultimately the incorporation of both energies. And that is the same whether we are male or female, female or male. So whatever that is, and however it is that we journey this, know this, reach into it, come into greater balance for each of us as we are walking our human journey. And the Golden Lioness, that is the great inspiration for the sovereignty and union in the being of the wholeness and the entirety of that which we are. And so for the greater part, we have been moving through, in a sense, the more embodied, emotional body, physical body, the ancient nature, of that which we are. And now from last session, with the introduction of the breath of Ptah, the channeling that unexpectedly I began to experience in this particular form at the beginning of 2018, we're now moving into what some might term the more esoteric elements, aspects, energetics of our beingness, of the qualities that we are infusing and bringing into greater awakening through consciousness. And yet it is also physical. It is a physical quality also, because they are never separate. When we are incarnate, it is a woven tapestry of all of these threads, of all of these strands, of all of these experiences. And that is very much what I want to honor, neither casting out nor dismissing or diminishing any of these aspects, because this is the great liberation and, in a sense, the return to that which we have subjugated for the last thousands of years, in some sense separated, and yet now with the re-arising of the divine feminine once more, the ancient divine feminine coming back into the new iteration of the awakening. It is a celebration of this. And so I will move into, because it is a necessary part of the imprint of spirit that came through the painting co-creation, the 13th oracle, the initial channeling of which, and then move into the oracle text, we might say, of the seed, essence, the voice of spirit, the counsel, and then we will move into a meditation journey to connect with that which the White Lady brought forth in this streaming of consciousness that we call channeling. One of the many forms, as we know, of the experience of channeling, because we are each conduits, we are each vessels, and it passes through the body, through the personal matter that we are, and yet it is transpersonal, it is beyond personal. And again, it's the union and the intimacy of play and experience of our personal, deep, intimate self and that which we are, the greater source of creation, the light of pure consciousness, and honoring that whole spectrum. So, yes, now before I move into that, I also want to share that I was prompted to, just before, as I sat down here, to look at the dates and the numbers again, because it was brought to my attention that the White Lady co-creation, the oracle of today, happens to have been, came through on the 13th of December. So number 13, and I only really became aware of that when I began to look again at preparing the material for today, and in 2018. And then the painting, the oracle, the imprint of spirit herself just happened to be number 13 in the series of paintings of 17 that make up their deck, the divination deck of 52, that is the oracle, the Lioness of Light oracle. So I was exquisitely surprised to see this 13, the seamlessness of the numbers, the geometry, the patterns, its pure energy, imprint of spirit, resounding and affirming. And I encourage you to notice these things within your own life, to respond to the prompting and to take delight and wonderment, because then it opens further the heart and the trail, the pathways, the threads into their greater gossamer gifting, you might say. And so then when I was prompted to look at the date today, which is the 18th, go to the calendar and look at the 13th of December, as it will be very soon, I noticed that today, the 18th, to the end of December is 13 days. And then, of course, we have from the 1st of December to the 13th, 13. So again, 2 more 13s. And of course, 13 and 13 is 26. What a beautiful number, the 8. So we have this weave of the divine energies just playing into our embodied experience. And so this is part of the gifting that we can each celebrate for ourselves and have greater faith and trust and joy, you know, in the weft and weave of life and the experiences we are journeying. Now, I'll just read this first little fragment of the actual channeling as it came forth, and it was many pages, but this is the first element, and you'll understand why I'm sharing just this part. And so when Valerie asked, because this new voice came through, there had been, well, in fact, this was session number 8. I've just realized. So here we have the 8 that combines the 213. So there you go. This was session 8 through the first year, 2018. And this new voice came through, very feminine, female, very strong and sovereign. And Valerie asked, "What is your name?" And she spoke, "I am the white lady laying upon the golden white crystal. Within the crystal and upon the crystal slab I lay. I feel the cold, smooth surface beneath the body, and I am resumed to my state, from whence I, like an instrument, absorb the purity and the clarity of the quartz crystal stone, white and filled with gold. Not gold as you know it, the light of gold that shimmers, the radiance that fills every living thing upon this planet and in the realms beyond the beyond. This light is within all, and the quartz crystal, the white stone that I lay upon within the body of the earth, I become a transmitter, and I am purified so that I may announce and be clear and transmit to all that which purifies, that which causes the light, the space within the cells to breathe, to fill with the life force, the clarity of memory, the clarity of all things. This is the crystal bones within the earth, the white quartz crystal." And so it went. And I won't go into more, but I'm just bringing you, these are 2 pieces of the quartz crystal that are spoken of. These are actually from Greece. This is a polished stone, an egg, and this is a raw piece. Isn't she beautiful? That I found in Greece. I think it was on the island of Syros, the Cycladian Islands. This rock quartz crystal, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's found across the world, across the planet. And I know we definitely have it here in Australia. You know, often you'll go walking in the bush or in certain lands. It was up there at Mount Kosciuszko. It's here in the lands I live here. You come across it by the sea. Quartz crystal, it's the stone. It's not the clear quartz. And this is the question that I'm beginning to have clarity of, because all of this, the question keeps coming, because we're moving toward the lioness of light, solar feminine returned. And what is this? The golden lioness, the sun. We're moving toward Hathor, Hatshepsut, and it is the beginnings of the sun, sitting with the grandmother, the sun, one within, the ancient re-arising feminine, the solar feminine. It is the active embodied principle of the sun, the solar energy of the feminine in her active sovereign principle that has in so many ways been repressed, suppressed, denigrated through this last echelon, which was perhaps necessary because we needed to experience this absolute extreme polarizing and shattering of separation in order to fully come into consciousness of the ancient sacred divine feminine, the body of our Mother Earth, and the divine feminine principle as an active, creative, co-creative force that is the universe, that is the birthing of all. And so this quartz crystal, it is rock, it is stone, and that's the embodiment. That is our humanness. That is the bones, because it is about our embodied experience here now, just as the earth herself is an embodied form. And this is to be celebrated and to nurtured and to be reclaimed. And the role of the sacred masculine to hold, to protect, to serve, and to be in its full sovereignty of energy. Sovereignty in union as one. So I'm mentioning this about the quartz crystal, and it's about the gold within the white quartz crystal, and that is the active light of the sun, of the creative presence and energy of the soul of feminine. So I just give that to you for you to explore and savor yourself. And because the White Lady is laying upon the quartz crystal, the white crystal slab, that is the bones of the earth. And that quartz crystal slab is a purifier, an energizer, a clarifier, a conductor, a transmitter, a battery of purification and energizing. So it is this regenerative bones of quartz crystal that is imbued with the radiance of gold, so we can connect, and we will in our meditation journey, to this quality, to this physical property, this physical matter, and absorb it and be reactivated and regenerated and clarified ourselves. And this is a key, this is an element that is being gifted to us to connect with in the physical, and or we can just simply go there. So I'm very excited, as you can tell, but I'm also aware of our time frame, so I'm moving along. So we move into the seed essence of co-creation. She speaks of many things, the birthing that we have been waiting for, because that was our pact, that was our vow, and the time is near for that to occur. Voice of Spirit. The divine feminine has been here from the beginning, through all forgetting and unseeing. Within you, I am re-arising, taking new shape and form as I bring myself forth anew. As the light I am, I allow myself to shine my sovereign radiance into the world, no longer afraid, hidden and condemned to the shadows. As was decreed, long awaited has been this time. Rise with me as we bring forth the healing of this world through the living heart. The divine feminine and sacred masculine are counterpart to one another. Let us co-create together through this return to love, which must first arise within yourself, for yourself, and so is birthed anew the one that is the wholeness within. Counsel. When the waters break and the yoke cracks, from what may seem to be the shattering of all we have known, a new form arises and is birthed. There can be great pressure that preempts this, akin to the pressure required for a diamond to be formed. The feminine body of this earth, our planet, is ascending. She raises us all with her. The re-emergence and reclaiming of her presence initiates creating and embracing new ways and new structures, while that which no longer serves is dismantled, disintegrating before our eyes. Through this releasing of outworn patterns that have kept us in non-life affirming circumstance, external or internal, we create space for the seed of new consciousness to enter. And through this, the egg and serpent conjoin to create new potentials, birthing new ways and forms beyond what we may previously have believed possible. You may be moving through a time in which it feels as if a paradigm that has served its purpose has been struck by light, sharp as lightning. Know that through this experience, you are being offered new diamond-like clarity that will assist you to reshape a structure or aspects of your life that are falling away. A dismantling of the old needs to occur in order for the reassembling of the new. Trust that what is built out of this experience will be truly lasting, serving a new foundation from which to live in greater strength and alignment with your highest truth. Know as you offer this gift to yourself that the beauty, health, and providence of all of nature and the celestial universe rejoice with you. For this return of each of our sacred truth and balance serves the healing of all. So, blessings, joy, and gratitude for the courage, for the radical courage within each of us, wherever we find ourselves at this moment in our life, through the embodied form that each of us are, to step into and embrace this, and knowing that it is an incremental journey. This is a shifting moment. This is the breaking open of the egg to release the new sun, the face of the feminine, the embodied form, moving through, re-arising in this nature. And yet it is also an incremental living experience, a practice, a dedication, and a lightness of being, and a knowing that the all that we are has a place to be held and to be honored and to be known. So, sovereignty in union, spirit embodied in matter, and the bringing forth of the solar feminine, whether you are male or female, female or male. So now we're going to move into a meditation journey guided through the voice of the White Lady, the presence of the ancient divine feminine re-arising once more. And so entering into that place of stillness, gathering unto yourself through the breath, into the pure energy form and all the bodies that you are. Feeling the weight of the body upon the earth, rising up through the spine, the sacred serpent, and allowing the breath to flow between the vertebrae and the inner organs, the innards of the body. Feeling the bones of the body in great honor and respect for this physical nature of the incarnate body upon this sacred planet that is so beauteous and so whole, ever yet whilst there may be deep changes within the earth, within her body, the waters breaking and opening, new tides giving forth their currents, the tectonic plates stretching and cracking, yawning and reshaping themselves, as all within the cosmic universe is in continuous round of greater birthing and expansion on all levels. And yet there is nothing to be afraid of through this movement of expansion. and greater awakening of consciousness that is the seeding of all in eternity of light. That is the active principle of source, of the sun beyond the sun, the breath of light that is imbued within all and that is within each of you. My beloveds, my children, my star seeds of the body and of the gossamer weave of all in existence, that is the light, the radiance of all things in full consciousness of becoming, for that is what you have chosen to offer in service, this great enactment of consciousness and the delight of universal existence, birthing and birthing and birthing in these great rounds of cyclic continuum. And so for now, finding yourself laying upon the body of the white quartz crystal slab that might be yet for each of you of natural formation or rectangular shape or circular, allowing that which is in its own shape and form to arise and be beneath you as you lay and give the weight of your body and the full presence of your energy sphere to resting upon the quartz crystal, the white stone, the quartz crystal filled with gold, the gold light that is the cosmic force of breath imbued within everything, every living thing in the whole celestial realms, terrestrial realms as one. Feel the quality of the quartz crystal beneath your body. Feel its vastness, the purity, the clarity of its being, for it is also a sentient being, as are the very bones within each of your sentient bodies. Every cell, every fascia, aspect of the one, the blood, the waters, the tissue, the liquids, the fibers, and then there is the space. Feel now the space within the quartz crystal upon which you lay. It is imbued with the gold, the light of gold, the shimmering radiance that is the breath of the sun, the breath of the light beyond the light, from which all darkness emerges and into which all light is emitted forth. Breathe now, allow your breath to come into its own rhythm. And as the breath comes unto itself, as you lay upon the quartz crystal, the white quartz crystal filled with gold, take some time now to allow the quartz crystal, the white quartz crystal slab beneath you, this body, this bone of embodied golden light, this purification, transmitter, charging platform to do its work, to offer you, to receive unto every cell of your body and the spaces in between, the pure light, the purification, the charging, the clarifying, the renewing returning you to that pure presence of embodied form, filled with embodied light, pure light that is love. Sense only. Use your senses. No story. Pure energy experience now. Receive the solar light, reactivating the solar feminine energy, pure sovereignty of presence, clarification of being, restoration, complete. And there is restored the sacred ovum, the sacred egg of being, through which the serpent activation is arising once more in union of birthing, pure awakened consciousness restored to all and bringing forth its gift of love back to the planet, to this Mother Earth, all of nature, all of the beings and creatures that you share and that share with you this radiant Eden of life, of creation, of paradise, of beauty, of grace, and of endless gifting and endless giving that must now be acknowledged and returned in full awakened consciousness and active awareness principle. And it is the solar feminine, the return of the ancient divine feminine, that will enact this now through all beings, male or female, both as one. Sovereignty in union. 13th Sun. And so perhaps taking a deep breath in and letting the breath go as if with a sigh, coming back into your sense of physical presence, knowing that you hold within every cell of your body and all the spaces in between the experience, the physical nature of this experience that we have partaken of together in this moment. Allow it to sing through you, to resonate. It just is. And that you can at any time take yourself back at any moment to restorative experience, restorative practice through laying upon the white quartz crystal. However that presents itself to you in shape and form. And this is a practice that we each have now. That is a beautiful gift of clarification, restoration, purification, and renewal. And there is so much within this practice, a clarifying of memory, of origins, of qualities within the self, of memory, of celestial, cosmic, galactic awareness, intelligence. There is so much there for each of us, and I know that for each of us it will speak and shape itself through the vessel that each of us are as we walk this time together, together. And there's that beautiful figure 8 that dances between us and through us ever, timelessly, through all time, through all presence. So in gratitude, thank you so much for joining with me in this, our 13th session, Lioness of Light, Oracle Within journey. And I look forward to sharing with you next week the 14th session, the Imprint of Spirit Oracle, that is the face of Hathor, Hatshepsut. So where we move into another iteration of the ancient mysteries that are speaking through us now. And she is and was and wants to share with us once more the active principle of the solar feminine, the sovereignty in union within that Hatshepsut sought to embody. And indeed, for 22 years, she reigned as Pharaoh, not as a man, as a woman. And there are so many incredible stories connected to her. And of course, Hathor, the very ancient presence of the divine female and the divine feminine through this journey, re-arising. So thank you so much. Big love, blessings and gratitude, and move gently into the day, into the evening. Dream well and blessings.